Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Good morning. This morning our prayer comes from Psalms 55. Give ears to my prayer, O God, and hide not rather thyself from my supplication. Attend unto me and hear me. I mourn in my complaint and make a noise because of the voice of my enemies, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they cast iniquity upon me, and in wrath they hate me. My heart is sore pained within me. And the terror of death are fallen upon me. Fearfulness and trembling are come upon me, and horror hath overwhelmed me. And I said, that I had wings like a dove, I would fly away and be at rest. Lo, then would I wander far off and remain in the wilderness. Selah. I would hasten my escape from the wind, the storm, and tempest. Destroy, O Lord, and divide their tongues, for I have seen violence and thrived in the city. Day and night they go about it upon the walls thereof. Mischief also and sorrow are in the midst of it. Wickedness is wickedness are in the midst thereof. Deceit and guile depart not from her street. For it was not an enemy that reproacheth me, then I could have borne it. Neither was it he that hated me and did magnify himself against me, then I would have hid myself from him. But it was thou, a man thine equal, my guide, and mine acquaintance. We took sweet counsel together and walked unto the house of God in company. Let death seize upon them, and let them go down quickly into hell. For wickedness is in their dwelling and among them. As for me, I will call upon God, and the Lord shall save me. Even at morning and at noon, I will pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. He hath delivered my soul in peace from the battles that was against me, for there were many with me. God shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old. Selah. Because they have no They have no strange, therefore they fear not God. He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The word of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. But thou, O God, shalt bring them down into the pit of destruction. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us on your At a Glance program on the 22nd of June, 2022. Now the end is near. We face the final curtain. Ask the question in the words of Frank Sinatra. Was it done Keir Starmer's way or Andy Burnham's way? This morning, Keir Starmer took to the back door of Downing Street and announced his departure. A next British Prime Minister is in the making by September, drawn to us. Will it be a bloody fight between Labour MPs as to who replaces Keir Starmer? Or will it be a coronation of Andy Burnham at the end? September will tell us that. Yes, 2026. Thank you. We're going to have the conversation about reparations this morning. And we're also going to look at Donald Trump media personalities that get many jobs in Trump second term. It's not just Kerry that is a media personality. Pete Heggis and others are media personalities in Trump crisis. But this morning, reparations is what we will focus on. If you're not aware, in Ghana, there is the Juneteenth commemoration and reparation conference that has just concluded. Who attended for Jamaica was the old haggis, Babsy Deranged. So we have many to chop and change this morning. We'll also be looking at Starmer's resignation speech, and we have a written article on the reparations issue and my views on reparations. So good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Like and share the live for us, please. Byron Leslie, good morning. Carla Stewart. Karen Nemard, good morning. Lynette Jenkins, Abinasa Cody, good morning. Pamela Akola, the Unstoppable One, Elga Fletcher, Empress Deb, good morning, all, and welcome to the silent listeners. Good morning. Thank you all for joining us. Andrea Joan Hamilton Wilson, good morning. Good morning. Violet Watson, Lynette Jenkins, everybody, good morning. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us this morning. We will quickly segue to dear old Starmer. Two big questions now arises from the Starmer departure. Now, Starmer will not depart today. You should be aware of that. What he has announced is his departure, which let us turn this on until Starmer is ready. Starmer is not going today. I hope you're aware of that. What he has announced is his departure, which I think as of next month will trigger a contest between Labour Party members on the 9th of July. Yes, on the 9th of July, it will trigger a, a contest between members of the Jamaica Labour Party, Christopher Stevens Morning. Whether Andy Burnham, who is the front runner, will face competition by other MPs, or they will just stand aside and allow Dora Morris, good morning, and allow Andy Burnham to be coronated in September. So we will be having Daryl Starmer until Parliament goes on recess. When Parliament comes back from recess, then we should have a new British Prime Minister. That shows, what this shows is that the British democracy is still live and kicking, because Keir Starmer wasn't taken down by the opposition. This is not how prime ministers get taken down in Britain. They're taken down by their very own party. Keir Starmer, though, should have gone for quite some time now. From the moment he did the U-turn and the winter fuel and others, particularly in February, when the Manderson affair after the Epstein scandal, then moving into the local government election in May, Starmer should really have gone. He have fought bitterly to stay on, but it couldn't have been sustained, because when Andy Burnham came in after the by-election, Starmer was told, resign or face resignation from your cabinet. Thus, this morning, he took to the dirty old back door of Downing Street and announced his departure. Now let's listen to Starmer telling us, the people of Britain and the colony of Jamaica, what it will be. Robertson's morning.
Thank you. Thank you. Walking up this street 2 years ago was the proudest moment of my life. A new Labour government, the first in 14 years. A page in our country's history turned after years of disappointment and despair.
Daniel
The
Taylor,
chance
morning.
to change the lives of millions of people for the better. That's what I came into politics for. The journey to that point was not easy. 6 years
Gillette
ago,
Baker, Marcia
I
Beale.
inherited a Labour Party that was politically, financially, and morally bankrupt. I was told time and time again that my party was finished, that we were consigned to history, that a majority at the general election, let alone a landslide majority, was impossible. But we proved those people wrong, because we changed our party, ripping out the poison of anti-Semitism, restoring trust on the economy, defence and national security, and becoming a party that once again stood proudly with, not against, our national flag. The hard work of change was with a singular purpose, not power for power's sake, but to change Britain for the better, to build a fairer country with dignity and respect, where everyone is seen, everyone is valued, wealth and opportunity for all, not just the privileged few. And look at what we've achieved in just 2 years. an economy that is stronger, growing faster than our peers, wages rising faster than inflation in every single month since we came to power, investment secured, infrastructure being built, an end to austerity, with the fastest fall in NHS waiting lists for 17 years, the biggest improvement in rights for workers and renters in a generation, the biggest uplift in defence spending since the Cold War, small boat crossings falling, asylum hotels closing, protecting young people from social media, and 500,000 children being lifted out of poverty because of the choices that I made. Our reputation in the world restored, with Britain once again standing up for decency, respect, and the rule of law, securing trade deals, standing with Ukraine, standing up for our values, and rebuilding our relationship with our allies in Europe. Change promised by a Labour government, change fought for by a Labour government, change delivered by a Labour government. But I know the question being asked now is not who was best placed to change the Labour Party, to take us into power and to begin the vital work of improving lives for millions of people. Those questions have been answered. The question my party is asking now is whether I am best placed to lead us into the next general election. I have heard the answer of my parliamentary party to that question, and I accept that answer with good grace. Every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party. I have spoken to His Majesty the King this morning to inform him of my decision. I will ask the National Executive Committee of the Labour Party to set out a timetable with nominations opening on the 9th of July and completed by the summer recess. In the case of a contest, this will ensure a new leader is in place before Parliament returns in September. I will remain in post as Prime Minister until the contest is complete, and I will do everything I can to ensure an orderly handover of power. I will also give my successor my full and unequivocal support, knowing that they will inherit a Britain that is far stronger and fairer than the one I inherited 2 years ago, better prepared for the challenges ahead, and better able to ensure the Labour Party secures a second term in office. I want to thank all of those friends and colleagues who have been at my side for these past 6 years or so, for their incredible commitment, service, and support. I want to thank the brilliant Number 10 staff and our country's extraordinary civil service, who dedicate their lives to public service. And when I leave the biggest job in the country, I shall spend more time on the most important job, being the best husband I can to my fantastic wife, Vic, who has been a rock by my side through good times and bad. And being the best dad I can to my beautiful children, who are my pride and my joy. Thank you very much.
Whatever you think of the British democracy, or whatever it is that you want to say about the British democracy, it is live and well, and it is live and kicking. Not personality, but country. Country over everything else. That's what keeps the British democracy alive, where no prime minister can take this country on a joyride and damage it for their own personal gain and power because of the thriving British democracy. There are many things I don't agree with in this democracy, but to see the back of Keir Starmer and all other prime ministers that try to mess around, except for Blair, who fought on but still had to go. It protects the country's system. What we see and have in Jamaica currently, it's a total destruction because of personal ambitions. Christopher, Andy, Philly, Honodo. This would never happen in Jamaica because we're not a democracy. You see, we're still a colony of this great democracy, whatever one thinks and wants to assume. It's never the opposition that takes down a government in this country. Never an opposition. But what this has done, it may happen. It's certain that Andy Burnham is what we will have. The left cheek of the backside, which is Starmer, the right cheek of the same backside, which is Andy Burnham, is not much of a difference. Bruce Golden was pushed. He didn't jump. He was pushed. Pushed not by his loyalty to the country, but by the Americans. So you must observe that. Bruce Golden didn't resign because he thinks he has messed up or because of putting his country first. Bruce Golden resigned because the Americans lost confidence in him. But will we have better with Andy Burnham? I don't think so. Two things that might happen out of the Andy Burnham coming is that, one, we will not have Nigel Farage at the next general election, the most racist. Neither will we have the bad enough coconut or roast breadfruit of a Kemi Badenoch. We almost can be quite certain of that. The big question that triggers in September when Parliament returns, will Andy Burnham call a snap election to seek his own mandate, or will he carry on a Starmer mandate? Will he reappoint a new cabinet? Because if he's reappointing a new cabinet, we ought to go for a general election. That is usual in the British democracy. We will wait to see what pans out and if we're going to have an election in October. But it's not much of a difference. It's another Blairite. It's another crony of the it's not really, so it's pretty much he might riddle room a few things, but Andy Burnham is like Tony Blair, loyal to themselves only. So I really don't expect much of a change. Gloria Morris, Raymond, Hono, Dwayne Evans, Miranda Raddock, everybody, morning to those who just turned up. Josette Williams, Mazat Control. I'm not expecting a huge, great deal of change. They're all Zionists, bear in mind. That must be borne in mind, that they're all Zionists. And all leaders of the Zionist project tend to be tilted down the road, which it's not really want them to go. So I'm not expecting much, really, from Andy Burnham. His popularity, well then, popularity don't stay with British Prime Minister for too long, really. Will we ever have anything like this in Jamaica? No, we are not a democracy. So in a democracy, you really don't have things like this. What you do not have, especially in the labor camp, the JLP camp at the moment, where everybody is up Andrew Holness's backside, it would have to be a almighty head pulling to get these MPs, especially the cabinet, because the fastest way to take you down is your cabinet going against you, which is what was happening to Starmer even before Burnham won the by-election. Members of Starmer's cabinet started resigning, and once Burnham got back to Westminster, the resignation were going to fall like almighty rain from Starmer's cabinet. So Starmer had no choice but to pack himself and go. This will never happen in Jamaica because the current cabinet will not go against Andrew Holness. They are not ambitious enough, or they're not country loyal enough to do that, because they're all thieves like the prime minister and is held to ransom by their stealing and corruption. We will have the worst of the worst to come. So this would never happen in the plantation that we live on. And don't let anybody fool you that we're a democracy, we're independent. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. I mean, if you cannot recognize that by now, that we are a colony with administrative power, then God help where it would go. There's none of the lapdog in Andrew Holness' cabinet caller that would ever challenge Andrew to resign or would resign from Andrew's cabinet to free up the country. Queng, how are you? So no, it will not happen. Jamaica will continue to fall in the ditch that Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party has taken it, like literally just like that. What do we turn to next? Reparations. Should we go to reparations next? Do you want to hear my views on reparations? Does my headline on reparations confuse you? It ought not to. If it is that you're confused by my headline and reparations, then you're not aware of what happened, Wayne Evans, all you do, with the COVID money, the burial money, and the Melissa money, among others. If it is that you're confused by my views on reparations, no to reparations, I'm saying. Why should we? I mean, what would be the benefit for us? What would be the benefit for the people of Jamaica if our slave masters were to pay reparations to us? What would be the benefit to the Jamaica people? What was the benefit to the Jamaica people out of all the resources we got in COVID, we got in burial, we received in Melissa? What was the benefit? We're going to first go to our article that we have done on the issue. I mean, we're still waiting for the 40 acres and a mule, is it not? Now let's go to the article we've done on the issue of reparations. It's up to you if you want to fight for that money. But when we talk of reparations, don't see it as just purely money. Of course, a part of it ought to be
reparations and reality.
Finances for all Jamaican family on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis. However, the broader part, Karine, how you do? The broader part of reparations, when we talk about reparations, it's building institution and infrastructure at the expenses of the slave master. Building institutions and infrastructures in it, Bedford, at the expense of the slave master. That also, though, includes, as the Germans paid to the Jews, as the American paid to the Japanese, money to financial assistance to the descendants of those who were done wrong. Now let's go to our article, then come back on the other side.
Reparations and reality. Can Jamaica benefit from compensation in a system riddled by corruption? By Special Correspondent. The global campaign for reparations to address the centuries-long legacy of transatlantic slavery is grounded in a powerful moral argument. Nations that profited immensely from enslavement have a responsibility to help repair the lasting economic, social, and psychological damage inflicted on descendant communities. For Jamaica, one of the most impacted nations in the Caribbean, this debate has gained increasing momentum, with advocates framing compensation as a vital tool to finally close the gap created by historical exploitation. But as the conversation advances, a growing chorus of critics is raising a difficult, unavoidable question. What good will reparations do if the systems in place ensure that money never actually reaches the people who need it most? For decades, Jamaica has faced a persistent and well-documented crisis of governance and accountability. While the country boasts immense natural beauty, cultural influence, and resilient people, it also struggles with deep-seated corruption, weak institutional oversight, and a political economy that often prioritizes the interests of a small elite over broad national development. Time and again, the pattern repeats. Funds allocated for critical public services vanish or are mismanaged. Infrastructure falls into disrepair, and investments tend to favor high-end real estate or low-wage tourism rather than building sustainable industries or equipping citizens with the skills to thrive. This is not just a matter of isolated bad decisions, it reflects an environment where integrity, transparency, and equal opportunity are often secondary to political gain and personal enrichment. Consider the state of the nation's foundational systems. Education and healthcare, two pillars required for any society to prosper, remain chronically underfunded and under-resourced. Roads are riddled with potholes, rural communities lack basic services, and affordable housing remains out of reach for most. Meanwhile, economic policy has in recent years prioritized aggressive debt repayment to satisfy international financial institutions, often at the direct expense of long-term investment in human capital. Nations like India, Brazil, and the Philippines carry higher debt burdens, but strategically borrow to build infrastructure and support growth. Jamaica, by contrast, chose to become a model of fiscal restraint, yet the promised widespread prosperity has failed to materialize. Instead, many citizens see only the expansion of consumerism, with cheap imported goods dominating local markets, while local production and employment opportunities stagnate. This reality creates a profound dilemma for the reparations movement. Reparations are intended to be a transformative force, funds meant to redress historical wrongs and create pathways for intergenerational progress. But critics warn that without meaningful reform, there is no reason to believe these funds would be treated any differently than other public resources. If billions allocated for schools, hospitals, and roads can disappear without consequence, what prevents reparations from meeting the same fate? Would they be used to lift communities out of poverty, or would they simply become another source of wealth for those already in power? The experience of other nations that have received compensation or development aid offers cautionary tales. Without strong institutions, independent oversight, and a genuine commitment to serving the public good, even the most well-intentioned funds can end up doing little to improve the lives of ordinary citizens. Successful nations that have built prosperity, such as Singapore or Dubai, did not do so by relying solely on external funding. Instead, they first established an environment where the rule of law is respected, corruption is punished severely, and resources are directed toward the collective good. They created systems that attract talent, encourage investment, and ensure that opportunity is accessible to all. For Jamaica, the logic is clear. Before asking for and receiving compensation intended to benefit the nation, There must be a credible plan to ensure that benefit is actually delivered. Addressing corruption, strengthening accountability, and investing in people and infrastructure are not alternative goals to reparations, they are essential prerequisites. Without them, reparations risk becoming not a solution, but just another chapter in a long history where resources flow into the country, while the majority of Jamaicans remain waiting for meaningful change.
Right, we're going to look at it in two parts here. Reparation as infrastructure and institutional development, meaning our roads look just like the road them in a foreign. Opal, oh, you're welcome, Ladybug, morning. It means that our hospital or schools are state-of-the-art systems. But if that money is sent to, especially the corrupt JLP regime that we are under, will we ever see those infrastructure development, paved roads, proper drainage system, proper housing infrastructure that government provide affordable housing, state housing for the people, or education system or schools or state-of-the-art system? So is our hospitals. Industries created in our country to provide jobs, institutional building that can that make sure we have a justice system, a proper justice system, the legal framework in our country, and all of that building for the future. If those money go to our leaders, particularly what we have now, will we ever see that actualization? I think not. If it is, on the other hand, that reparations, because all of us in Jamaica, the African descendant, or descendant of the enslaved, which were done wrong to. If it is that Britain ought to pay reparations directly to us, that would improve our personal and individual lives and probably the housing needs within our community. But we'll still have a broken healthcare system, a broken education system, a tardy infrastructure right across the country, road, light, water, you name it. Will it really serve the purpose? Whereas what reparations is a coming together of the two, institution and infrastructure building and industries that can propel our economy into a first world country, as well as compensation to the people to improve their social and housing needs and community development. Of course, because they're going to always push back on it. Because if Britain were to pay us reparations, Britain would go broke tomorrow morning. If we were to be paid reparations, we would own this country. It would go broke tomorrow morning. They would have to hand back over all our stolen artifacts, or stolen jewels, or stolen knowledge that they walk around the world. They would have to give us back God in his blackness or in his non-whiteness. There's many things that would have to happen under this system. Debbie Jervis, morning, how you do? I'm not hopeful. I would really want it to happen, but I'm not hopeful in corrupt Britain and corrupt Jamaica that we will get anywhere of such. Now, for the Juneteenth, I keep always calling it June 19th. the Juneteenth commemoration in in Ghana. Babs Deranged attended on behalf of the Jamaican government, but the leader of the Caribbean, Mayor Motley, spoke because if you know the Ghanaian president John Mahama is quite a radicalist, quite a Pan-Africanist who advances such agenda, and it was one of the reasons why he got thrown out during his first term. Then they brought in Nana Kofi, who was, but since John came back, he has turned up the pressure again. He had a resolution passed in the United Nations earlier this year declaring slavery as a crime against humanity. The Reparations conference was held in Ghana last week for the Juneteenth and Juneteenth commemoration also in Ghana. As you know, many of us were stolen from the Ashanti and Akan and other empires within that western section of Africa. John is doing some great work on that front. But am I hopeful that in the current spheres we live in, if this was actualized, would that benefit the Jamaican people? Let's listen to the leader of the Caribbean on this matter. We have two snippets from her. Bear with, bear with, bear with, bear with, bear with.
There are others who say that there's been slavery before, but ours was the only one to declare us as chattel and as property. I stand here today on behalf of the government and people of Barbados, conscious that our duty is to repair, and our duty is to call for others to repair. Regrettably, our parliament was the first parliament, as you heard from Sir Hilary earlier, to establish the 1661 Slave Code, 2 decades before the Code Noir, which has just been repealed in France. That slave code came to be mimicked, copied exactly in some of the colonies of the United States of America and the Caribbean, and in others used as a platform for their own slave laws. It is the categorization of us as subhuman. It is the categorization of us as chattel, as property, that stripped us of our dignity first and foremost, but equally removed from us the choices that are necessary in life to truly express freedom.
We also have another clip from Mayor Motley in Ghana. It's nothing important from Jamaica, really. So nothing important. But ask yourself the question, what is our fight for reparations?
Pray here
And who are we fighting for? Because if reparations is to be paid to the state of Jamaica, I don't support it. This is why I say no to reparations. If reparations is only solely paid to the state of Jamaica, I say no. Because if we're going by the history of COVID money, COVID assistance, if we're going by Hurricane Beryl assistance, if we're going by Hurricane Melissa's assistance, neither the country or the people who have been wronged will benefit a dime. What is the point of fighting for that money to prop up the 1% of elite who everything they suck the live blood out of us. And this is why I'm in opposition to the fight for reparatory justice until we've cleansed corruption within our midst. It's useless, utterly and absolutely useless to advance the agenda of reparatory justice while our country presides over corruption, is sweltered by corruption. It wouldn't benefit the country or its people. All that would happen is members of the Jamaica Labour Party, their family, and others get richer and richer. So absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would not engage in this fight for reparatory justice. If we cannot clean up the mess we have of lack of governance and corruption, make the white people them go along with where them thief already. Make them go on with where them thief. Because it now go benefit we and it now go benefit with country. So what's the point? Why should we fight to make the rich richer? Why should we fight to make the rich richer until our country have the systems that us as a populace and our country institution and infrastructure can benefit from reparatory justice? Then I think we should leave the thing alone. If this government get with reparation money, Darrell Vaz, Chang Chung, and them will get with money. Yeah, we not gonna get a dime out of it. It will be the same 1% of thieves. It will be the same 1% of thieves enriching themselves. What we ought to be fighting for as Black country is a cleansing of corruption. If we say we want to go the Singapore route, how Singapore got there, they stamped corruption out of their system. They use a sledgehammer to crack the nut that corruption was and got rid of it. Thereby, their country became attractive to everything else. All leaders coming behind Lee Kuan Yew, if I say the name, make sure it's country above self. Investing in your people, investing in your institutions. That's not happening in our Black countries at the moment. Britain is more corrupt than us, but our participation in corruption, Britain corruption benefit the ordinary man to a point. In Britain, they share the stolen wealth. Not even the wealth that is given, or the assistance that is given in our country is being shared. What's the point? Let's listen to Mia Motley on another piece. Me not agree with leave it alone. Leave it. Because white people go along with where they're thief already.
Pray here in Accra that we not be divided by language, by geography, by passport, by party, or by generation. The children of Africa, whether in Bridgetown or Kingston or Accra or Port of Spain or Lagos, the children, whether in New York or Bahia, carry a story that is connected. And it is a story that deserves being told to build a future that must be enshrined in dignity. We come to Accra to insist on justice with discipline. We know that development is repair. We know that opportunity is repair. We know that truth is repair. And to the young people of Africa and the Caribbean and the Americas who say, what does this have to do with me? I say to you, everything. For the debt of history is paid in the currency of your future. When water systems fail in our country, when, as I said, people cannot access electricity, when culture is stolen, when climate is denied, when finance becomes more expensive and more difficult to access. This is your inheritance that we are negotiating today. The iniquities of the slave trade still remain, and the demographic that slavery affected is still the poorest part of this world, because the world is rigged against the descendants of slaves and the victims of slavery. And so our work goes beyond reparations, goes beyond return of artifacts. It goes into advocacy for creating a more equal world. Our voices were fragmented for decades, and it served the interests of some groups to keep those voices fragmented. And I'm happy that for the first time, we're beginning to speak with one voice. I say to you as I leave you, one people, one purpose, one aim, one destiny. God bless us.
We have a bigger problem on our hands. Of course, we want white people to pay for the wrongs that they have done to us over 400 years and continuing. It has not ended. That is to be observed. It has that the wrongs continue to take place. But we have an internal fight as post-colonial or post-enslavement countries amongst us. We have to clean house before we can bring in furniture. We have to clean the house before we can bring in furniture. We can't just clean the house. We can't just bring in furniture pan dirty house. Because by the time the furniture them come in, them turn into the same dirt that then come back up in. We need to our first fight need to be about our first fight need to be about cleaning corruption and corrupt leaders from amongst us. Corruption and corrupt leaders is what continue to hold Jamaica back, hold our African countries back. So we don't need money to give Andrew and Juliet, veteran Wagwan. We don't need money to give Andrew and Juliet, Darrell Vaz, Horace Chang, Babsy Grange, James Robertson, Bobby Montague, Clyde Green, Pernell Charles, Desmond Mackenzie, or all of them were thief with money and I put it into property development, money laundering, and all of the commotions that you can. We don't need that. If it is that we're going to get reparations, then I would want Britain itself to build the institution in our country at their expense. I would want Britain to set up a system where Britain paid money directly to every Jamaicans who are descendants of the enslaved. But if it is that on the current system that we have, those money ought to be paid to the Jamaica state. I mean, shut the whole thing down. Go on, take care and go on. Your teeth here ready. We come off of the plantation and we are surviving. We will continue to battle. We will continue to baby step until we pass the worst. We will continue to baby step until, but we not enrich Andrew and Juliet any further. So drop the reparations argument. Let us turn to cleaning corruption amongst us. That is the fight. That is the goal that we ought to be aiming for. Before we go to the Trump galangin, we're gonna listen to what two Jamaicans have to say. I think particularly on the the third country national deportees. Nothing that this current government is doing, has done, and will be doing is benefiting us, the people. We're always coming out on the worser side. So why should we? We never get no assistant in a COVID. We never get no assistant in a burial. And we're not getting any in a Melissa. And what we're hearing from the Auditor General report, especially in COVID, is how much money was squandered, especially by Dr. Tufton. What we're hearing from Auditor General reports in relation to Beryl and Melissa is how much money they still sit on while we are lying in squalor, while much away in a foreigner, especially after Beryl, had to assist our families to repair their roofs. And the government sits on millions that they refuse to assist the people. What benefit, if you could tell me, what benefit if we were to get reparations anytime soon, which I don't think is gonna ever happen? What benefit will it be to one, our country, and two, the descendants of those who were wronged and continue to be wronged by the British colonial system? What I would want to see is healthcare institutions and school, mental health institutions in our country, a drive for psychotherapy and all, because we need counseling. Some other thing to say when people go to therapy, they're crazy. But it's something that we should be having. As people who wrong was done to and continue to be done, these things that happen in our childhood still it's what make you into the adult mental case that we become because of unresolved issues, Winifred Morning, that happened during our childhood. We need psychological care. We need a system of, as a part of this whole reparatory justice, psychology, psychotherapy, mental health care ought to be one of the biggest drive in this thing. Because how we are mentally, throwing a lot of money at us doesn't really solve the problem. The corruption, the stealing, the political tribalism is all a psychological problem. The religious indoctrination is a psychological problem. Even when people go to bed and dream of God and angel, they appear in whiteness and straight hair, is a psychological problem. There's so much. Don't get me started this morning. Don't get me started this morning. Anyway, but we need therapy as a people. You might think it's only mad people that needs therapy. Which one are we though mad? Now answer my question. Which one are we though mad? I mean, to see God in somebody else's image is a mental health crisis. You may think, what on earth is he on about this morning? What is he talking about? I mean, go and speak to a psychotherapist. That's what I would advise you. We need counseling. Hmm? The reparatory justice is many things. When people advocate for reparatory justice, their mind focus on money, money, money. Give me a little money. That's not it. It's really not it. We first need mental health care. We need psychotherapy. We need all those, the post-traumatic slavery syndrome. Hmm? The post-traumatic slavery syndrome. That is the biggest work that is needed to be done when it comes to reparatory justice. Because no amount of money you give mad people are going to stop them from mad. We're still going to be bloody little barking mad. Look at Gina Henkels. How much Gina Henkels have worked on YouTube? Or should we call her Gina, because when you're married, your name changed. Gina Ramsey. Look how much money Gina Henkel Ramsey, they'd have to double barrel the name. Look how much money Gina Henkel Ramsey work on YouTube. It doesn't change the mental status of Gina Henkels. We need psychotherapy. We need counseling. We need psychiatric care. Some of us are barking mad. And to take up a lot of money, give barking mad people. What you're going to do is self-medicate, whether it be by substance abuse, shopping in, or whoring it out, as some do. What we need, what we need is psychotherapy. All right? That's the bigger part of reparatory justice that we ought to be fighting for. The fixing of the mind. Because, you see, one thing you have to give to the British, they were fucking clever. I mean, when a tiny little nation take the whole world and mess our fucking minds up to see God in their image, to allow us, even 400 years later, to be hating ourselves, to be bleaching ourselves, to not liking our hair. I mean, do you understand the fucking power of this thing? No, think about it. Stop for a while and think about the power of left-handed psychology that was used against us to allow us to hate ourselves, to hate our skin color, or hair texture, to see God in somebody else's image, to think that somebody is more superior than you are, or you are inferior to them. Do you understand the power of that psychology? That's the biggest repair that ought to be done under reparatory justice. Don't make nobody fool you. Money and institution building now go solve the problem, because with our mad self, we will still mash up the institutions. Because I'm sure when the British left in after the colonial administration from Westminster was handed over to us, there were systems that work better then than are working now. Just look back at history. Anyway, let a labor right speak to the Prime Minister. Bear with.
If no labor right now go call out Andrew Holness, me I go call you out. Because me a labor right and me I go call you out. You see this a stunt here where you dey pull? I carry the people them from where Trump want show time country. When they clean out in closet and you take up in all broken and you put in and they carry come put it, come give people.
Morning,
You see this a
Elaine.
stunt here where you pull? You make labor right now and go win back no more election. Me guarantee you. Because you know what? You know, come as a leader and have a meeting and talk to your people, them and let them know what's going on. You the make it look like them a idiot. You treat them like them a fool. Your minister them a say one thing and then you are gonna say one total different thing. And then you expect say people are gonna believe you. People are not gonna believe you. Because the whole none of the story not straight. None of your guys' story are straight. And as a leader, you should come to the forefront and say to your people that listen, this is what's going on. But you they give people X and then a really Y. You they give people rock stone and then they tell people say no on a rock stone, a sand. Because two of them carry same weight. No. No. You are give a basket to carry water. You are a liar. And you know what? When you tell the lie, then when you tell, this is what it makes us look like we are idiot. Because everybody's sitting on the sideline and say, then listen, if his cabinet is saying this, and then him a go and tell the people them say, no, I know this he really mean at that. Like I saw Jamaican people gullible, I saw Jamaican people not have no sense, I saw Jamaican people illiterate. You make it look like we don't have no sense, like anything what you say or anything what anybody tell you and push down with you. Once you have a US stamp and steel money, we are going to say yes. This can't be happening. This cannot be happening. We see the unfold right in front of our eyes and you tell we say no, rain are poor. And the place of flood and you tell we say no, a sun a shine out there. Because of you, we're not going to win back the next election. And me, if no labor right now and tell me, I go tell you, because me a labor right. And me respect you. But this a movie where you make? This a movie where you make? Come on, man. Come on. This should have been a bipartisan move. This should have been something where you and the other party sit down and talk about, and you propose it to the public, and you take a vote on this. This is going to affect every single person in Jamaica. This is not something where you, no. And the thing is, you know you're wrong, you know. That's why I know they grow on Liti and come round caps. You know they grow on Liti and come round caps. That's why you cannot admit it.
At first, me hear that phrase there, they go round Liti and come round cops. The one you new to me. Who heard of this before?
So this is what's gonna happen. This is what's gonna happen. You know, I go do whatever I go do, regardless of whatever or however people feel. And that I go be the bottom line. That is what is going to be the bottom line. This is where you pull. Me guarantee you say, you know, have no more win. You not have no more win. And the Labour Party not have no more win for a good while. This way you pull and I treat the people them like an idiot.
Well, you know, as soon as the Labour right them see it, them are go come out, come attack her. As soon as the Labour right them see her hear what she say, she's gonna be under attack, because to be a Labour right, as well as a PNP, you must fall in line all if the leader wrong. And that's when you are not a Jamaican. When you fall in line with the leader and not with the country. When you overlook the success of the country for the leader's personal ambition. That's one of the most dangerous things. This is why, you know, we ought to be careful as a people who we criticize the politician them, you know. But politician them not turn so overnight. We create a place of corruption for our leaders to thrive in. Did you hear that? It's us, the people of Jamaica, who create the space of corruption for our leader to thrive in. Through this political loyalty, through this political tribalism. through this political safe seat, where they could have burned down the constituency, we still are going to elect them. So there's a lot of internal assessment, Jamaica. A lot of internal assessment. And this is my standoff with reparation. It's a standoff for me. Because there's a lot of internal work that we need to do before we advance any of these things. I'm always of the view, no politician ought to get more than one term if they don't prove their performance or deliver on their promises at the end of the term that you elect them for. And until we take these necessary steps, we're not going to clean up the corruption. And we create the space, Jamaica people. When a police stop, we and say left or right, and we go in our wallet and we say left. When we pay police officers not to investigate us, when we pay police officers and judges to bury a case, we cannot continue to blame the government. Jamaica people, let's wake up. Let us wake the hell up. We cannot continue to blame the government for few wrongs and few mistakes. If we stamp out the corruption, something will be done. But we can't continue so. And then I walk and blame them for our own crime. We have to take full blame too.
Jamaica people, Jamaica people, Jamaica people. I'm going to tell you this. Jamaica people, I'm going to play one video with here in America, the kind of people we are coming down there. I'm going to play one video. Hey, you see you look at dirty Andrew on this? I'm going to play one video with the kind of people we are come at Jamaica. And I'm going to make you see the kind of people them where America are fling way. And when America say about them the kind of people. And then I'm going to play our next video. I'm going to play our next video. When a security minister say the people may go do. Then I let them out in Jamaica. So anytime when I see no people in Jamaica there, start get raped, start get murdered. You understand? When I see no people start get kidnapped. You know exactly where I come from. I'm going to show you the kind of people Andrew is bringing pound. Watch this.
We are actively searching for other countries to take people from third countries. So we are actively, not just El Salvador, we are working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away from America, the better, so they can't come back across the border. I'm not apologetic about it. We are doing that. The president was elected to keep America safe and to get rid of a bunch of perverts and pedophiles and child rapists out of our country.
When you hear the kind of people who are coming to Jamaica, listen what Chung said now. Just listen what the security minister say. Listen what the security minister.
Let me indicate all. They are not detainees, so there's no need to. They're not putting in any.
Donald Thompson, all you do.
Center or otherwise place. Accommodation has been found, and that's part of what has been worked out in the operationalization of the MOU. But they are not detainees, and they'll be free to move around. They'll be landed by the minister's permission, as the Minister of National Security responsible for immigration.
Jamaica, we don't need to start Black Road, we don't need to start demonstrate. We don't hear me telling you, and Harry Strong, you need to resign. Jamaica, we don't need to wake up. Wake up, Jamaica.
John Bailey Manning said, we happy again. We happy again. Hooray, Dinah, come back again. Whoa, science again. Jamaica science again. Andrew, I feel over you know. This can't be so. And also so galang, and also so galang in go. This are not so. The people at home on the ground go on like they not here. say heinous criminals are coming your way in the name of skilled workers and investors. This have to be science again. If not science again, can somebody tell me what on earth it is? Let's go to Carrie Karen. It's usual for Trump to appoint journalists and TV personalities from Fox News to high political offices. I mean, it's nothing strange with
of 300 million.
It's nothing strange that another one of Trump's Karen, Narco Rubio, that's quite the name he should have had. Because this guy is high on drugs, I would believe, and I would argue. I mean, Donald Trump said he doesn't take substance and he doesn't drink, but boy, I would encourage Donald Trump, even though I give up weed, after smoking weed for 25 years, I would encourage Donald Trump to smoke weed. Because if you say you don't take substance and you don't drink, and you go on so, then maybe you need some form of substance. I would argue Donald Trump, put on what me take up. After 25 years, and me give it up with grace, then you shouldn't take it up with haste, Donald Trump, because it may would have stabilized something. We just run up and down and a race up. Left, right, government shoes, left, right. I wouldn't want to be in Donald Trump's brain, like literally wouldn't want to be there, Shirley Bogle, because to say the confusion, me no another level of confusion the Donald. To be honest with you, that's too high class of a confusion for me to tackle with. Let's listen to Donald Trump media personality, who will no doubt assumes the ambassadorial position in Kingston. Andrew Holness, globalist. No can donate for we buy Pampers for Andrew. Are you willing to see him walk around shitting up himself? Which is it? Talk fast. Are you gonna donate Pampers money for the Prime Minister? Or are you happy to see the Prime Minister walk around just shitting himself? Because it's coming, you know. Andrew Holness is shitting himself. Because everything from the Donald is pressure. Pressure, soup. Pressure.
Of $300 million annually. Jamaica has struggled for years to prosecute these networks domestically. If confirmed, what practical resources or support would you pursue to encourage more effective cooperation between our law enforcement agencies to stop these scams?
Thank you for asking that question, Senator. I think people think, how could you get scammed out of your life savings? But there are some bad actors in Jamaica who have really honed the skill of bilking people out of their money through these lottery scams and other financial scams. And so we will work very closely with Jamaican law enforcement officials. We already have a great relationship. We'll work with our counterparts at the State Department, and we will work with local law enforcement here.
Hey, we are going to change the name over here this morning from 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. 1 Andrew Mafia. 1 Andrew Mafia. So that legitimizes the changes of the 1 p.m. to the 1 a.m. 1 Andrew Mafia. 1 a.m. That's the new name.
In the United States, to make sure that we're doing everything we can to alert people to this problem, because I think a lot of people unsuspectingly don't even realize that they're obviously being caught up in a scam, and then prosecute people to the fullest extent of the law. And I will put pressure on the Jamaican government, if I'm confirmed, to really prosecute and take seriously these types of crimes.
It's like I want to come back to you on a related topic here, and that has to do beyond your normal role as ambassador. You're going to be responsible for an interagency effort to deal with U.S. Jamaica counter-narcotics efforts. And that's going to require leading a team that has personnel on in the State Department side and in law enforcement. Can you just illuminate us in terms of how you plan to approach that challenge?
Thank you so much for the question. And I want to commend the people who are on the ground in Jamaica. From what I understand, they're doing incredible work working with the Jamaican authorities. We're taking the incredible knowledge we have in law enforcement here in America. We also in investigations, and we're helping to train additional forces in Jamaica. And we'll be working with the Department of War. I understand that they are very much hot on bringing down these narco terrorists. Most of the drugs, from what I understand, are coming from Colombia, about 40% of the drugs coming from Colombia. And they stop at Jamaica, and then they go out to other areas. Some of them are making their way into the United States. One death from fentanyl or overdose from drugs, in my opinion, is one death too many. And I'm glad we have a president who's taking this issue seriously. Fentanyl is a weapon of mass destruction. And I think that the people of Jamaica deserve the safety that their government is now working to.
This is an attack on China, you know. Remember Donald Trump said the fentanyl come from China. And China own what 49% or so in our port. So China would not carry the fentanyl come to Miss Karen here and then send it on to the US. No, Andrew, you're not problem, you know, Andrew. Andrew, don't call upon if you not help, you know. Oh.
Help provide. They've brought down the murder rates by 43%, from what I understand, in the country. They're making huge progress in making Jamaica a safer country. And I think the people of Jamaica deserve that, and the people of America deserve that as well.
Ms. Lake, what can you tell us about your take on the best way to help Jamaica? As ambassador confirmed, you intend to focus more on aid or on lifting trade burdens, on increasing economic opportunities for the island?
Thank you, Senator Lee, for that question. I think it's an, if confirmed, we're going to look at everything. We're going to hit the ground running and look at ways to expand American business opportunities and try to level the playing field. Because right now, as we know, when we're competing with for a contract or a tender with the CCP or CCP controlled company, oftentimes they'll underbid the United States. We want to make sure that we're working with Jamaica to make sure that there's a level playing field so that American businesses have a real shot to do great work. We know that we provide better quality work. We hire Jamaicans, and we want to make sure that we're assisting and also allowing for American companies to expand. I think there's big companies that could help right now. There's a huge need as they're rebuilding after this Category 5, which devastated, especially the southern and west.
It is called building the pressure, Opal. It is called building the diplomatic pressure. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Hold it. Pressure drop. Oh, pressure, pressure, pressure drop it. Come on, you. Tell you say pressure drop. Oh, pressure. Andrew. Hey. Boy. Everybody, when I see why all know when Labour win the third term, they can't celebrate. No one understand why Labour haven't celebrated their third term. Can we say pressure drop? Oh, pressure drop. Oh, pressure drop it. Come on, you. Andrew. Lord Jesus.
Part of the island. And if we don't take an active approach to getting American companies in to bid and get some of these big purchases and big jobs, we're going to see the vacuum filled by more Chinese influence in that country. And that's concerning to me. I think it's concerning to both sides of the aisle when it comes to what China has done and their influence so close to home.
We've seen that all over this hemisphere, in many parts of Central and South America. China gaining footholds, putting a base in Argentina, for example, a lot of increased ties with Brazil, with the current government in Colombia, just to name a few. I would imagine that adding Jamaica to the list, securing significant foothold in Jamaica would be a huge feather in the cap for the CCP folk who really want a massive inroad at the doorstep of continental United States of America. What do you think that is the best antidote to that, and how can you work with the Jamaican government to discourage that from happening?
Yes, right now the Chinese have a massive stake in one of the key ports in Kingston. I think they have a 49% control over it. And that puts us at risk. And so we need to rebalance things and work with the Jamaican government on that. And, you know, not just big businesses, there's small businesses as well. I love this story. You know, we all know that Jamaica has incredible athletes. They dominate in track and field and in gold medals. The fastest man in the world, Usain Bolt. I mean, we all watched as he wowed the world. But they're one of the only tropical climates that also has a winter Olympic team in
bobsled.
In their bobsled. And actually, a company in Utah, backcountry, does the outfitting for that team, the Jamaican bobsled team, which I think is very cool. I mean, we definitely want big projects, but we want to encourage all kinds of American businesses to invest in Jamaica and Jamaicans to invest in America as well. You can buy a lot of things in Jamaica. You can show up and not have swim trunks, and you can purchase those. You can purchase beach towels, you know, whatever you need, shorts and shirts, but you cannot purchase winter parkas in Jamaica. And
I would imagine it would have limited utility in Jamaica.
It would. You just don't need it. So I think there's a real opportunity to work with our partners, our neighbors. Jamaica, an incredible country, and I'm looking forward to it.
There's a growing sense that gang violence is becoming more of a problem throughout the Caribbean. And the growing concern that some of this is a spillover effect from Haiti, which has been really had a big problem with gang violence. Any thoughts on how best the United States can work with Jamaica in order to bring that problem under control?
Well, thank you for the question. Thank you for mentioning Haiti. I know that not only is the United States taking an active role with the gang suppression force down there, but Jamaica is as well. Jamaica has some very talented individuals that are on the ground. I think the second in command, from what I understand, in this gang suppression, Jamaican. So it's in Jamaica's interest. It's in the United States' interest. It's really in the Caribbean interest to make sure that we can solve some of the serious problems in Haiti, and we'll be focusing on that if confirmed.
So basically, America is jealous of the relationship.
Andrew, let me tell you something. Me see look like so now draw away in the make because to say where the on talk say children checking free visa make on the hips hops and hot scap. Hips hop and hot scap. Are you want get burial money and spend it? Are you want get Melissa money and all on penny? Are you want get God know where we don't know and hold on penny? Don't get we involved. Problem. But bad to bad. And Andrew one in the problem, you know. The whole every lick they lick Andrew, they stone me a bumper for him and catch me. Every stone they throw on Andrew, me chipper for him and catch me. So we get caught up. You see what corruption cost Jamaica? Jamaica talk truth. You see what corruption cost? You see we vote back Andrew Holness in for cost Wasara. Anyway, we're not further figure with it this morning because it can't get Wasara. Can it? It can't get any Wasara than Dana Dixon tell we say. We're just conflating criminals and skilled workers. You can't get worse than that. If government can come out and tell us, oh no, you all are just conflating criminals and skilled workers. I mean, what else wouldn't they tell us? Now, talk truth. What else they won't tell us? If Marco Rubio said, we're sending you the most deplorables we can pick up a roadside. And Dana Dixon said, oh no, not quite so. We're sending you people that can push injection needle in you and like slice you up with a knife and all that. You know, go on here. This year week the temperature will turn up in a Britain. What it is out the door now? I'm telling you. What go on out the door? A basking weather this week, you know. The weather turn up this week, globalists. Turn all the way up. Currently, it's 29 outside. We're having extreme heat this week. Tomorrow, we're hitting 31. Wednesday, we're hitting 32 up to 35. Thursday, 30. Friday and Saturday, we're going to drop down into the high 20s. The high 20s for the rest of the week. All the way into, we're into like about 2 weeks of hot weather, but this week, the first few days of this week will be amazingly hot. Like yesterday, one woman see me in a park and said to me, oh, you've just come back from holiday. I said, no, I'm just enjoying the British summer. You look like you have a tan, she said. I said, no, I'm just baking in the sun. So I'm going to have a wonderful time in the sun. Hope you all have yourself a lovely day and a lovely weekend. Thank you all for being here with us this morning. Make sure you do the minimum support for the program by hitting the like button. Thank you very much for being here this morning. Lovely to have your support. As always, please do join us back this evening for the people's point of view. Thank you. Today is my first day of summer. May I tell you the weather decent. And like a breeze a blow outside, you know, when you sit down on that tree, it can be even decenter. Anyway, thank you. Good morning. Good afternoon from Global TV.
Together, run, keep going on, let's process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just as I and I as a watching man, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Hey, oh, we gonna bust down Babylon walls. Prepare the way. Prepare the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down war and crime. Fight down war and crime. Me say Rastafari. War and crime. And do the righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. Jah Rastafari. And we love Jah. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. We love Jah. Jah Rastafari. Preserve all people. Put time away. Put time away again. Listen. Yeah. So just as I and I as a watching man, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace while we penalize. Hey, oh, night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare the way. Prepare the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down war and crime. Fight down war and crime. Rastafari, war and crime, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah, Rastafari, preserve all. love Jah Jah, Jah Rasta. Me love Jah Jah, Jah Rasta. Me love Jah Jah, Jah Rastafari. Preserve all. Me love Jah Jah, Jah Rastafari. Jah Rastafari. Jah Rastafari. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight. And then DJ Twin. Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation. Because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is so dead. Jah Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. That's a people there. Make a man throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear not hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rob and cheat and not press the poor. Make out what I seen to. Make a man throw one stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan. Make a man throw one stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite part, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see they can sell out Rasta and sell it out. I sell out Babylon. They give man show one stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show one stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see they can sell out Rasta and sell out. I sell out Babylon. Just stop on the front. You might throw a stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing. You might throw a stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big man show one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black big man show one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rastaman show one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.